What's going on, everybody? Fries here. We're making our first BronzeBeard video. Just got done rolling first Ascended 25 man with the guys over on Nell Street. Thank you guys for inviting me. Another shout out to Mini Mike for helping me figure out how Armor Pen works, the numbers, percentage, what I want to do, my goals, and the Hunter Discord for helping me out in starting off my character. I just came back to BronzeBeard and it was really nice to have that sort of information and sheet made, that spreadsheet that I could look off of. I was using it literally every day to figure out which gear to get, kind of where I wanted to start my build from, the base, which REs were good and not. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for making that information public. It really does help new players and stuff like that. But anyways, we're gonna jump right into the REs and builds. There is going to be two builds that you play. One is the Stampede set and one is the Barb Shot set. The Stampede set is going to refer to pretty much that's your dungeon spec or cleave fight spec. So you're gonna be playing this fight on Razor Gore, um, maybe on the third boss, whatever his name is, the Aura Farmer himself. You're gonna be playing it on three Drakes. You can play it on Zarthos, or you can play Barbshot on Zarthos, and same thing with Nefarian. You can play Barbshot or Stampede on that fight. Pretty much the advantage of Stampede is you have a little bit more variety on switching targets. You do a little bit of AoE burst. You got its damage profile is definitely a bit better, but obviously, I mean, Ascension has these 15 plus minute just grueling single target fights with one hard mechanic check. So, like on Zarthos here, Stampede I think is slightly better, but it does do less damage because you're not just pumping the boss with barb shots. So it's kind of up to you and what your group needs. I thought it would be better to play Stampede here to use it on the ads and get them down and switch to them and to help with pipes and stuff like that. It gave me a little bit more variety and options. So that's kind of my thought process on playing the difference between Stampede and Barb Shot, but I'm sure as you guys play both builds, you'll figure out which one you like to play for which fights. But let's jump into the builds. Let's talk about the Stampede build first. This one is super simple, really easy to play. A bit harder to gear though, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, you need to get armor pen capped without like you just need to get armor pen capped without any help. Hey guys, post waffle fries here to update some of the numbers. If you hear me refer to armor pen at any other point in this video, just know it is incorrect. The armor pen is 4.2 equals 1%. So for the Stampede build, your goal to get armor pen capped would be 315 armor pen rating, and your goal for barb shot is 105 armor pen rating. Post waffle fries here again. You want to have 100 armor pen rating before sharpening stones, but the 315 number is after sharpening stones. Okay, back to the video. Yeah, I'll drop my BisBeards down below in the comments so you can really look at my gear. If you see the trinket, um, I don't have the rep armor pen trinket yet, but that thing is turbo disgustingly Bissington. So my goal is to get the armor pen trinket and then play Assault Band Mythic 15 or 20. So that is the gear for Stampede. These are the REs. I'll briefly talk about some things about the REs. So Stampede gives a 5% damage stack per stack. So it stacks up to 4 times, gets 5% per stack. Nothing you know about Joint Onslaught. Your pet just cleaves a little bit. Savage Momentum is pretty important here. So your pet special attacks crit reduce the cooldown of Multi-Shot and Arcane Shot, but they also increase the Stampede's duration on the target by 2 seconds. And then you got trick shots. So every time you multi-shot, your next arcane shot is guaranteed to crit and ricochet to nearby targets. These are the REs. Careful aim makes you have a 1.1 AP per intellect conversion, and nothing else to really mention in the REs. So why was that pet crit important? Well, whenever you crit, there's a 60% chance with arcane shot. There's a 60% chance to make your next 2 pet special attacks guaranteed to crit, which is guaranteed to reduce the cooldown of a multi-shot and arcane shot. So the gameplay loop is to Bestial Wrath Stampede, keep multi-shot on cooldown. Every time you multi-shot, you want to follow it up with an arcane shot. And then you fill with volley and explode trap. So in fights, you can pre-explode trap. Um, Razor Gore, Zarthos, you can pre-trap. Just think about pre-trapping if you can. It's cool, it's good. So here we go. We're gonna trap, multi-shot, Bestial Wrath into Stampede, and now we're just gonna do the rotation like before. We're gonna get 2 ticks of volley, and then we're gonna do the thing. And then here we go. We're just multi-shotting into arcane shot and filling with volley. And as you can see, well, we're doing pretty good damage. This build does a lot of consistent AoE bursts, so it's really good in dungeons. Start of the pulls, like you're just gonna be melting mobs. When you stampede, like you're really gonna feel it. And then our main target's just gonna have the stampede buff the entire time. If you wanted to, you could try and play around with getting your pet to attack a few different mobs and have him keep the stampede buff on multiple targets. That is just probably more effort than it's worth, if I had to guess. And this is kind of the damage breakdown. Arcane Shot is going to be doing more damage than Jamal at some point later on. And that's about it. And as you can see, the Pointed Under Extract just isn't that strong of a trinket. It does have 20 agi, 20 crit, so it's pretty good, but obviously a 225 AP proc that lines up with every stampede is just so much better, and it has ARP on it. So that is that set. And now we'll talk about the barbershop build. Now the barbershop build is a little bit more complex. It's a bit greedier. This isn't a single target spec that you can kind of switch around, hit ads, do important mechanics. Like you're basically a turret that is just hitting the boss. And that's why I think it really loses value on some really higher end content. Like it's it's detrimental to the raid when you just have one person just being a greedy dog. That's just simple as like if multiple people in a 10-man raid or in a 15-man raid, let's just say, are being greedy dogs, like you're just not going to be able to get the shit done. And you're griefing other players, so it's just not exactly always worth playing when you have an option to play something that's just slightly worse that can do a bit more versatility. So, anyways, let's just talk about the REs. Again, these are the blue REs. I'm not going to mention any of them. You can trade out Bestial Wrath or Survival Instincts for improved tracking, but just know about 50 to 55% of your damage is your pet. We're playing Barb Shot. This gives 8% armor pen per stack, stacking up to 5 times. Each stack of Barb Shot gives you a 20% chance to increase your pet's damage to the target by 20% for 3 seconds. And when this proc is active, it will make your next kill command with this proc active do a shit ton of damage. Other than that, we're filling with Steady Shot. So obviously our goal in this rotation is to just get to 5 stacks of Barb Shot as fast as possible and then just start using some arcane shots whenever our kill command's off cooldown to try and fish for that proc. Other than that, you're just going to spam steady shot. Steady shot, when it crits, it makes your pets crit. Okay? So you want to be doing as many steady shots as possible. If you have to move, if it's a bit more movement intensive, you're getting a Chromagus phase that you have to move around, just use arcane shot on cooldown, fill in some serpent stings, throw in a trap. But you basically don't want to use steady shot unless you're going to be able to cast 2 in a row. So let's just get into the opener. The opener is going to be the only time that is a little bit different on what you do. You're actually going to Barb Shot into Arcane Shot to try and fish for a kill command proc in the opener, and then you're going to press all your CDs and kill command. So Barb Shot, Arcane Shot, all of our CDs into kill command, and now we're just going to spam Steady Shot until Barb Shot's off cooldown. Then we're going to Barb Shot, next global, now I'm going to Barb Shot, and now I'm just going to keep Steady Shotting. I'm going to do one more Steady Shot into an Arcane Shot to fish for that proc before I kill command. And that's it. Now we're going to just spam Steady Shot. Barb Shot's coming off cooldown. We're going to click it. First global is up. We're not going to be arcane shotting until 5 stacks other than to proc or to fish for a proc. And now here we go. And if for some reason like I needed to move right now, I'll get really comfortable with moving. So I need to move, stop for a global, move, stop for a global, or for an auto shot. Move, big move. I need to go, I need to go, I need to go. Just move around, get really comfortable with moving your character and doing damage. It'll help you out so much in being really successful at doing mechanics. And when it's time to move around, like you don't need to worry about just spamming steady shot. Like get the arcane shots in, it doesn't matter. You can move when it's time to kill command. Like you plant here, now it's like you have a barb shot to use, you have an arcane shot to use. Like you can move around, right? Like you don't get too comfortable just turreting. Like, whenever you're doing an arcane kill command barb shot, those are 3 globals that you can be moving around, right? And other than that, like, if you want to greed barb shot stack, that's fine. You can let it get low. But just be careful. Like there is travel time on barbershop. I have accidentally let it fall off. Like on Veil Straws, right before we lost it, I lost a barbershop stack. And yeah, like that is trolling. Once again, I'm gonna be playing Armor Pen Trinket plus the proc on it, and then I'll probably take off Glyph of Bestial Wrath when I get the Rep Trinket because this will no longer line up nicely with my proc, right? So if I play the proc trinket, the Bestial Wrath will line up with every proc instead of right now it wouldn't because Bestial Wrath's cooldown is reduced by so much. So let's just talk about consumables really quickly and then we're done. So if somebody in your group battle chickens while you have your pet out, he will also get the battle chicken. Very strong. Brief mention. Next is Scroll of Intellect yourself, Scroll of Strength your pet, Run Ton Tuber Surprise, Glossy Mightfish, Green Grog. Smorgasbord is better than the Fused Fried Air Chops, and then Distilled Flash the Executioner is better than Butchery, but if you wanted to play Butchery for the Armor Pen, that would be okay. Last thing is your arrows. Doomshot is your best arrows. Thorium-headed arrows are your second best, and jagged arrows are only used if you're doing piss content. Your pre-pot is Potion of Lightning Reflexes. If you don't have a lot of gold, you can just buy these Soldier's Agility Potions with Honor. And that's all you need to know to be successful. I wish you guys the best of luck clearing content. I hope that this guide has helped you in whatever you're doing, and I'll see you guys next time.